Hi everyone. So, sorry, my hair is all tangled and whatnot. In this video, I want to go over the Wiccan Rede. And I think that for a lot of people, I know including myself, when I first started to practice and when I first started to study, coming across the, the Wiccan Rede and reading it, even the first 10 times, yeah, some of it is understandable and some of it is pretty self-explanatory. But some of the other parts, especially when you're first practicing and you're first learning, it's very confusing. And when this is the one thing that you read that's supposed to give you like certain guidelines and rules on, I don't want to say rules. Rules is kind of a tricky word because I don't feel that it's rules per se, but guidelines in how you practice with them. So I wanted to go through the Wiccan Rede in its entirety because I think that a lot of people they see like these little snippets of the Wiccan Rede and they believe that, or even like the ending uh, in I forget, there's so many different ways that it goes. But it's like the very last three lines, and a lot of people think that's what the read is, or the read is broken down into like two versions. You have the shorter version, and then you have the what you read in its entirety. If I could speak English, that would be fantastic. But I think we go through this every time I do a video. So let's try this. So I do have my little papers here because that way it keeps me on track and not babbling, which I tend to do regardless. But believe me when I tell you, it's better with the papers. Otherwise, we'll be talking about spaceships and UFOs and the color purple and who else knows really, because that's where my mind often goes to, is many different places. So you will thank me for having these papers. You just don't know it yet. So I'm going to do two lines at a time and then break those two lines down. So the first two lines. Abide by the Wiccan laws ye must, in perfect love and perfect trust. And perfect love and perfect trust means to have faith in your path, without doubt knowing that the goddess and God are there to guide you. So just trusting your path and trusting that this journey that you're starting is the right one. And if it at all doesn't feel natural, or and this is like putting aside like the beginner's anxiety and things like that. Not, you want to make sure that you're doing it right. That's not including that, but if it just feels wrong to you, then you might want to figure out what feels right. You don't want to stay in a path that feels wrong. So the next two is live and let live, fairly take and fairly give. And this is preserving life, not only yours, but the life of all beings on this planet. Also, don't take advantage of others, and also do not allow other people to take advantage of you. So I think this is key because, you know, we often are very comfortable with making sure that we're not taking advantage of anyone. And, we try our hardest to make sure that we're doing the right thing. But we also put ourselves out quite often. And I think that we're being very unfair to ourselves, because if we wouldn't do that to another person, then we should um, also do that for ourselves, right? We should take care of ourselves in that way. So cast the circle thrice about to keep all the evil spirits out. And the number three is prevalent in Wicca. Casting the circle three times forms a protective barrier around your sacred space and any space you do magical work in. So when I go to do a ritual or anything like that, I cast my circle three times. I go around and I say something as I go around the first time, and then as I go around the second time, then the third time. Some people do this with elements. Other people do this with their wand. Some people do it with their abdomen, with their finger. It is such an individual path that it really depends on each individual person on what they do. So to bind the spell every time, let the spell be speak and rhyme. And spells have more power when they rhyme. And this is, for me, I find that, you ever see like the shows on TV where they like have these like witches or, don't even get me started on some of them because I like them. I like some of them, but some of them are just like so over the top. It's like, you've got to be kidding me, So I roll. That's like how I feel. But, I think that like when we see the shows and things like that, and a lot of them are like, they rhyme. And, there really is, when you say it and when you speak it, it's catchy. It rhymes. And when you feel good saying it, it really, that flow of energy is really, really great, especially for spell work. You really want to feel comfortable in what you're saying, and you want to be able to attune to that energy and connect to that way your spell is successful. Soft of eye and light of touch, speak little, listen much. And this is when interacting with others. Do so with acceptance and love. Don't judge. Also, listen more than you talk. Now, I think as humans, it is almost an automatic thing to have an opinion about something. And having an opinion is much different than judging. And I just want to put that out there. I think that, when we, like, let's say for instance, if I, go to the beach in the summertime and I see a man wearing a very tight Speedo, I'm going to have an opinion that, I can see all his junk, which is not something that, I necessarily want to see. But I'm not judging. I'm just, it's just my own opinion. Like, I don't want to see someone's junk, but really it's none of my business. So I just carry on. I'm not going to go and I'm not going to go make a post about it, and I'm not going to tell A, B, and C, and I'm not going to do all that. It's just my opinion. Now, judging is something completely different. When you see someone and you like make fun of them for it, and you cast judgment as if they're doing something wrong, that is, where we have to really try to steer away from, because we are no better than the next person, and we have to remember that we are all in this together, and we have to really, even though we might not like what they're wearing or like what they're doing, it's none of our business. They're living their own individual life, and that's it. Just be happy for them, and just, if they're not doing something that they should be doing, just send them some love and light and hope they find their path, find their way. You also go by the waxing moon, sing and dance the Wiccan Rede. So the also is the term that means clockwise, going clockwise. And the waxing moon is the period between the dark moon and the full moon, when the moon gets larger. And this is the time to do spells that draw things to you or others if you are performing on their behalf. So I just want to add that if you are performing a spell, a ritual, anything for someone else, me personally, and I'm not saying that everybody needs to do this because I'm just telling you what I do, I always try to get their permission. Unless they can't speak and it really is a matter of like helping someone and they can't speak for themselves, I think that for me that would be the only exception. But, or like in the case of an animal, they can't say. But, I will help any animal if I can. So, but for me personally, and I'm not saying that in order to be a correct Wiccan, you have to do this. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just throwing out for any newbies out there. Like, I know that this path can be hard to try to find information on and finding your own way. So I'm just saying, for me personally, I always try to get their permission, especially if they don't come to me first, and if they're really struggling and I want to help them, I don't want to do it. And I'll tell you the main reason why I ask them permission, because two reasons actually. One reason is that because if they know that I'm going to be doing work for them and they're on board, that spell has a higher chance of success because they're going to be manifesting that energy as well. They're going to be really excited to, hopefully manifest something really positive in their life. And number two, I believe in the harm none rule. I practice it, I follow it. Um, so if you go and you cast a spell for anyone or a ritual without their permission, then it can turn into a harmful situation, because if they didn't want you to do it and you did it anyway, um, that's not really a good situation that you put yourself or the other person in. So that is the reasons why I ask. So, Widdershins when the moon doth wane, and the werewolf howls by the dread wolf's bane. So, Widdershins is counterclockwise, and the waning moon is a period between the full moon and the dark moon, where the moon gets smaller. And this is the time to do spells to repel things or get rid of things, like habit. Like if you want to get rid of the smoking habit, and you can do a spell to help you, stop smoking, or if you're an addict and really don't want to be an addict anymore. And, I know that some addicts will say, well, once an addict, always an addict, but, that may or may not be the case. I can't speak on that. I don't know. I know that I know people, excuse me, who have struggled, and, I can't, no judgment. And I just, I can't speak on whether someone is always an addict. I wouldn't know, and I don't think it's my place to say. I'm just gonna grab a drink. When you talk too much, your throat gets dry, and then that's it. And what better thirst quencher than coffee, right? Yeah. And don't listen to me, because it's probably the least thirst quenching thing, but I run on Dunkin', so. All right, so, where are we? Okay, when the lady's moon is new, kiss the hand to her times two. The new moon brings good luck and prosperity as the moon prepares to enter the waxing phase, and it was once common practice to send 2 kisses to the moon, and that would bring the prosperity and good luck. When the moon rides at her peak, then your heart's desires speak. And this is talking about the full moon. And when the full moon is out there and it's shining brightly, this is when it has the most power. And like you can literally do a spell to attract anything. And, I mean, within reason. And the spells are, you have that full moon power to kind of, your spells are going to be stronger and they're going to be more potent. So let's see. Head the north wind's mighty gale, lock the door and drop the sail. Now, the north wind represents the winter season. And in the winter, we lock up, we settle down for the cold winter ahead. Now, depending on where you live, I don't know, I live in Massachusetts, so it is dreadfully cold in the winter. And you really don't want to spend much time outside because it is freezing. Like, for instance, tonight, it's probably going to get down to like 18 degrees. It's really cold. And with the wind, it doesn't feel like 18, it feels like negative 18. So, if you live someplace fantastic, like, Portugal, which I hear doesn't really get cold, or if you live somewhere like Florida, which really doesn't get cold, I mean, that's amazing. But let me tell you, it's cold in Massachusetts. Very, very cold. So, alright, let's see. When the winds come from the south, love will kiss thee on the mouth. And this represents the spring. Spring is commonly thought of as the season when new love blossoms, because the earth is coming back to life. All the animals are mating and, bringing new life to the earth. And you have, all of these flowers blossoming, and the buds are coming back on the trees. And so, I mean, this is a time of new life, new love. When the winds blow from the east, expect the new and set the feast. This represents the summer, and east winds are associated with the new and unexpected activities. I'm still a little sick, guys, so I'm sorry if I'm like sniffling and coughing and, all these great, wonderful sounds that are associated with winter. So I just want to apologize because it can be distracting. When the west, yes, new word of the day, folks. When the west winds blow over thee, departed spirits restless be. And this represents autumn. As the earth begins the transition into hibernation, this season is associated with death and departure. The Samhain Sabbath celebration occurs during the autumn, which honors the dead. This is the part of the video where my mouth just gives up, and everything that I try to speak is a struggle, and words get confused and slurred. And I swear to you, there is coffee in here, not vodka, coffee. I swear to you. 9 woods in the cauldron go, burn them quick and burn them slow. Alright, so in the Beltane Sabbath celebration, 9 woods are used. Not all Beltane rituals use 9 woods. It really depends on your practice. But in some traditions and covens, and even some solitary practices, they're still used today. So it really depends on how you practice Beltane, like how your individual path, and if you use the 9 woods, and if you don't, that's okay too. It doesn't mean you're any less of a Wiccan or you're celebrating any less. Elder be ye lady's tree, burn it not, or cursed you'll be. The elder tree is considered the tree of the goddess, and the elder should never be burned. When the wheel begins to turn, let the Beltane fires burn. Beltane, which is May 1st in the Northern Hemisphere, is one of the major Sabbaths. The wheel is the wheel of the year. When the wheel has turned to Yule, light the log and let Pan rule. Yule, which is December 20th, depending between the 20th and 23rd in the Northern Hemisphere, depending on the day of winter solstice. It's commonly known as a time when gods rule. Pan is the god of the wild, the hunting, and the companion of nymphs. And a nymph is just a mythological spirit of nature. Excuse me. Heed ye flower, bush, and tree, by the lady blessed be. Always be mindful of caring for nature and protecting the environment. Even if you live in a place where you really can't do much, there are little things that you can always do, which is like conserve energy and recycle, and things like that. I think are they're just simple things that you can do every day, and you're helping the earth and you're helping the planet. Where the ripplings water go, cast a stone and truth you'll know. Water divination is common in Wicca and paganism, along with many other beliefs. And what you do in water divination is basically you just have like a dark. You can do it in your cauldron if you have one, because your cauldron is dark color, or you can get like a black mug or anything like that. And you pour water in it, and you just sit and you just look into the water and just allow visions and thoughts come into your head. And see if you can see anything. I think a lot of people are confused with divination when they expect to see things physically, which I'm not saying that can't happen, but I think it's more so in your mind's eye. What are you seeing? The thoughts, the visions that pop into your head while you're looking into the water. When ye have need, hearken not to others' greed. And this is performing magic should only be done when there is a need. Make sure your intent is good and above reproach, whether it's being cast for yourself or someone else. So if you are casting a spell and you really, and I think this is maybe a controversial type thing, because a lot of witches and stuff, I'm sure that a lot of Wiccans as well cast when they want something rather than when they need it. It's not my place. All I know is what I do, and I cast when I need something. And I'm sure there have been times where I needed something, but did I really need it? So it's one of those things. You just don't want to go you don't want to cast a spell to become rich, or that would be fantastic. Who doesn't want to be rich? But there can be like the money has to come from somewhere. Like when, and I think that's one of the things that about magic is that you're manifesting these things in your life, but where is it coming from? And you just have to realize that as you're doing it. Like yeah, you're asking for money, but where is the money coming from? You know, if you're asking for $5,000, let's say, and where is that money going to come from? You know, and like, does your uncle have to pass away for you to receive that $5,000? Like I'm just trying, and I'm not saying like anything bad, but I'm just trying to make a point. Like, where does that money come from? So, with the fool, no season spend or be counted as his friend. Choose your friends wisely. This is just regular life too. Let me tell you. Stay away from people with negative energy. And I find in today's world, um, there are a lot of light workers, but I feel like some of them just kind of have like a really dark cloud um, just around them. And that's how a lot of people, like a lot of people are just not. Um, I think that 2018, and I say this quite often, 2018 was a horrible year for a lot of people. And, that kind of energy just like it sticks to you. And then when it sticks to you, people like me and other light workers who are empaths, they absorb this energy and then they start carrying around other people's energy. So number one, protect yourself, energetically, and number two, don't do not feel like you're doing anybody any favors by keeping them in your life because you feel bad if they're not good for you. If their energy just doesn't match yours and they don't make you feel good as your friend, then sometimes you just have to cut ties and not feel bad about it. You have to be number one in your own life. You have to take care of yourself. Merry meet and merry part, bright the cheeks and warm the heart. And this is radiating love and happiness. Be grateful for all the wonderful people and blessings you have in your life. And don't be afraid to express your love and gratitude. And I think this is huge because I think that we as humans living in today's day and age, I feel like we're not supposed to feel, and we're not like I just it's so hard. Like I know for me, a lot of people are afraid of being vulnerable, and like I don't know why, and all I can say is that we have emotions because we're supposed to feel them, and we're supposed to um, embrace our feelings and our emotions no matter what they are. So it's okay to feel love and gratitude, and it's okay to say to someone, I really appreciate you, like having you in my life. You make a big difference. Number one, it's going to feel good to say it, but number two, it's going to feel amazing for them to hear it. And good people don't get enough credit. So if you have people in your life that are good people, tell them how great they are. Mind the threefold law ye should, 3 times bad and 3 times good. And this is the threefold law, also known as karma. And what you put out, you will receive 3 times, good or bad. And I think that you might find some Wiccans that don't embrace the threefold law, which is, like I said, none of my business. I just follow what I follow, and everybody has their each individual paths, and I would never tell anybody what's right or wrong. There is no right and wrong in this path. Just follow wherever your heart tells you to go. But if you do follow the threefold law, it's 3 times 3. So if you put, bad juju out into the universe, karmically, you're going to get that back. You're going to get it threefold. And the same thing with good karma. When you're putting out good energy and you're helping people and you're doing great things in your community and you're helping animals, or it doesn't have to be these things, but just being a good person, that you send that energy out to the universe and it manifests for you into beautiful things. When misfortune is enow, wear the blue star on thy brow. And this is when you experience difficulties in life. Open your third eye, which is right about here. Some people say it's between your brows. I think it's a little higher. I think it's really right here. That's where I believe it is. That's where I feel the pressure, because I've been doing a lot of third eye work, and this is where I feel it right here. So it's just above the brow line for me. It says located in the middle of your forehead, which is right here, but like I said, some places you might hear that it's actually in between your eyebrows, which that's not where I feel mine. Seek guidance from the universe, spirit guides, the goddess, or the god. True and love ever be, unless thy lover's false to thee. If you vow to love someone, be true to them. This can also be for your love and devotion to the goddess and the god. Be true to your deities. I think this is really huge. When you are with someone and this person feels like you are only with them and you're telling them that they are the only person in your life, and you go and you step out of that relationship with another person. Number one, energetically, that's so bad, in my opinion. And I'm not judging. I'm just saying, energetically, you're going to put a lot of negative energy as far as karmically. How do I explain this without, I don't want to sound like I'm judging, because I'm not. You just don't want to do something that's going to send you bad karmic energy. And when you vow to someone to be true to them, you should be true to your word. And the same thing goes with your goddess and your god. You dedicate yourself to the path, and you have the goddess and the god that you work with, or multiples, or whatever. And just be true. Be true to them, and they will be good to you. I promise they will be. I don't know if there are any seasoned Wiccans or whatever that can say that they've worked with a particular god or goddess or both, that have been really good to them. And I can speak for myself that is the case. 8 words the Wiccan Rede fulfill, and harm it none, do what ye will. It all comes down to this. Harm none, but do what you want. And, this is, I think, one of the greatest things is that there really is, like before I said rules is really not a good word, because there aren't rules. It's just guidelines to living a good life. And it's really just telling you how, basic setup, how to live your life and manifest amazing things for yourself. Like, we all want a great life, but we can't live life on like this, sketchy type way and expect positive things, because we might have something positive at the moment, like robbing a bank, for instance. And I'm just using this as an example, non-Wiccan example, okay? Just as an example, if I decide that I'm broke, right, and I'm going to go rob a bank, and I go in and I rob the bank and I have $2,000 in my pocket. Yeah, I have $2,000 in my pocket, but guess what? I have to live the rest of my life looking over my shoulder if I haven't been caught. And if I do get caught, guess what? I'm going to be in prison, away from my children, away from my husband, not able to live a free life. And even if I don't get caught, I'm constantly living life in a paranoid state. Which life is better? Being free and, maybe struggling, and you need a little bit of money, and, just finding ways that work for you that are legal and, legit and right, and being free and able to enjoy life and, see, you can, as a Wiccan, you can cast a spell for money, and, you can, and here's the thing, and I also want to say this, and I don't mean to divert what I'm saying, but, when we ask for money, when I just did a spell, I think you guys saw when I did the anointing of the candle, I did a green candle. I did that one. Sorry, I have something in my eye. I did that candle, but what I did was I asked for money, but I asked for it to come, I'm sourcing it. I'm asking it to come from increased business. So, because I'm an artist and I also read cards. So, I'm asking for the money to come from a specific place, to increase business. So that way I know where my money's coming from. To increase my business flow and influx of customers, and that's where my money's coming from. That way I'm not just throwing it out there like, give me money, like I need money. We all need money, but I just want to make sure that my money is coming from a place that I still have to work for it, but just like attract some customers my way. So with that being said, you can do things as a witch, as a Wiccan, to bring money to you, and you don't have to do like crazy things to get there. So that's all for this week, and I just wanted to go through the Wiccan Rede, and I hope this was helpful for you because I know when I first started out, I was lost, and reading through the Wiccan Rede some parts are very easily understandable, but then you get to like certain parts, you're like, what's it supposed to mean? Like, I don't get it. So I hope this was helpful, and I will see you all next Saturday. All right, bye.